Okay guys, we're starting in 10 seconds. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Okay.
Truth is, I thought it mattered.
Welcome, guys.
I thought that
We're
music
doing our little karaoke session that we normally do here.
A bit loud.
not compared to how people matter.
It's too loud for George. And this is going out to the lockdown that we just had.
Yes.
I get locked down, but I get up again. You're never gonna lock me down. I get locked down, but I get up again. You're never gonna keep me down. I get locked down, but I get up again. You're never gonna keep me down. I get locked down, but I get up again. You're never gonna keep me down.
What's he doing? Kissing the love.
I don't know.
He drinks
whiskey drink. He drinks a vodka drink. He drinks a lager drink. He drinks a cider drink. He drinks a song that reminds me of good times. He sings a song that reminds me of the best times. Oh, Danny boy, Danny boy, Danny boy. I get locked down, but I get up again. You're never gonna keep me down. I get locked down, but I get up again. You're never gonna lock me down. There you go, guys.
Hi guys, how are you? Welcome.
Welcome back to Positive Property Show.
Now look guys, welcome to all the freedom fighters out there.
Welcome, guys.
Now look guys, we had a choice because obviously we're part of the FIRE movement, which is financial independence, retire early. However, I didn't want to call you firefighters because you might get confused. So even though we are firefighters, as in fighting for financial independence, retire early, we're calling ourselves freedom fighters because that's what we're fighting for, freedom. Now, if you got me on any other channel, please come along to Positive Property Club because I'm here to answer Q&A live questions later on. But today we've got a lot to talk about and plenty to talk about. And basically, what we're going to talk about today is one, I'm going to tell you a little story about the woodcutter and why it's so relevant today. And it's very important, but not only that, let's all face it, we're all agreed. 2021 is going to be massive in property. It's going to be big, right? We all agree on that for one thing. Now, the other thing is why. I'm going to tell you the 3 reasons why it's going to happen. And I'm going to also explain how to make sure you take advantage of it. Because this is a once in a lifetime opportunity. And seriously, if you miss the last boom, it's not your fault.
No.
But if you miss the next one, it's your fault because you're listening to me now. I already said this back in 2008, before the last boom. Now I'm going to say it again. But this was going to be much bigger. Last boom is nothing compared to what's happening at the moment. I'll explain to you what's happening in the economy with the money, interest rates, banks. And when you put it all together, you're going to understand. See,
absolutely.
A lot of people find property very complicated.
Yeah, I don't blame them.
That's
you don't get taught that in school. You don't get taught about,
No.
how to make money out of property or how to invest in school. So it's a very new concept to most people.
The main reason people find it complicated is they don't understand the core principles. And that's what I'm going to go through. But quickly, on a personal note, what I've been doing lately since I last saw you, I'm actually in the middle of a 24-hour fast at the moment. So I've just gone 24 hours and 44 minutes so far. And I want to get to 48 hours, no water, no food.
So pretty exciting.
Yeah, it's called a dry fast. And the reason I'm not having food is because it really gets your results faster there. And look, is it comfortable? Maybe slightly uncomfortable. But the thing is, I've been reading a book lately called The Wedge, and it talks about, between a stimulus to your response, your emotions, you've got that little gap in between. Because as I told you the other week, I went in an ice bath and sat in there for 3 minutes, and I found it very difficult. But I could imagine if I had practice, I could just get there and relax after a while. And I'm thinking about buying one.
Yeah, well, speaking from experience, I have done a dry fast before. That's what it's, I think, officially called, where you have, no food and no water. And the funny thing was, I've compared it to both. I've done, fasting with water and fasting without. And actually, it's so much easier to fast when you're not drinking water. Maybe it's because it doesn't stretch out your stomach, but you don't feel as hungry. So I think it's way more efficient. And I think the ROI you get on your time that you spend fasting is way better because you can fast for less time but get into ketosis way faster.
Yes, and the ketones stop you from being hungry.
Yeah.
As well, right? And on my ketones 1.5 at the moment, so they're massive. Now, you may have noticed we've got a Christmas tree out there.
Trees up in November. Yes,
November,
it went up
yes.
today, actually.
It went up today, and I always feel after my birthday, because my birthday's on the 5th of November, after I recover from that I feel like the next thing going now is Christmas.
Chrissy
And
time.
it's going to happen before,
It's beginning to look a lot like Christmas.
That's right. 2021 isn't over yet. And what I want to do is, really help people get to the next level before 2021.
Absolutely.
So, okay, so we're going to talk about the factors now. What's happening? See, the CBA, ANZ, and Westpac all look for price growth between 10 and 20% over the next year or so. And I'd imagine in NAB, I think it's something similar. So they're all expecting big growth, right? And see, this is the thing though. A lot of people find this puzzling, right? And
why?
Well, the reason they're finding it puzzling, because think about this, is what happened was everyone was predicting an economic crash.
Right.
The major depression, recession, right? Right? And, this is supposed to be the worst economic meltdown since the Great Depression. I mean, what happened to the COVID crisis? The crash? What happened to the devastation of the lockdown?
Didn't really happen, did it?
Didn't happen.
Lucky for us.
Well, the short answer is why? Is money, right?
Okay.
So what the government did is the government basically, COVID came along, and if you're the patient, the government came in and said, okay, we're going to give you blood, we're going to give you this, we're going to give you that, and they went crazy and did it. They just carpet bombed the whole economy with money. And look, because money's so cheap at the moment, it was easy to do.
I must take my hat off to the government. I think they actually did a pretty good job in, helping Australians and supporting small business, which has obviously helped a lot of people keep their jobs. So that's been really good.
Yep. And look, the government's been very proactive, but actually, I think they actually gave more money than they needed to.
Really?
Yes, for once.
Don't say that.
I won't say anything. But seriously, what's happened is most businesses are doing well.
Okay.
Wages going up. So we're averaging now 7% increase per year in wages, right?
Mm-hmm.
So it's interesting. So money's got to do with it, right? And how is that going to cause a boom in property prices, right? See, I'll tell you the three factors, and these are the three factors. There's interest rates, there's serviceability, and deposit power.
Right.
The trifecta of those three things is going to create what we're going to call the greatest boom in history. And if you follow the money and you follow what's happening, it's really simple and makes sense, right? See, if you want to buy a property, you need serviceability.
Because you need to get the loan.
Yes. Now,
in layman's terms,
the
bank needs to give you the moolah.
Serviceability has got two factors. One factor is interest rates. Interest rates, yep. Income, yes. And the other factor is bank policy.
Oh, okay. Yep.
So the bank policy used to be, you're getting a loan for 3%. We're gonna see if you can afford 7.5%.
Wow.
Right.
So they used to try and rip people off.
No. They've just been conservative. But the RBA said they're not going to raise interest for the next 3 years.
That's awesome.
Right, 3 or 4 years actually.
Love it.
So they've said they're not going to raise interest, so we don't have to worry about that.
It's amazing. So it's a good time to get into the market.
Look, it's amazing. It's amazing, right? But but I want to talk about serviceability and interest rates. So interest rates now, if you compare fixed rates pre-COVID and post-COVID, they're almost half the price now, which is amazing, right? So it's really cheap. Money's really cheap.
They've been cut in half, yeah.
Yes. Yeah. Right. So the thing is, the serviceability, what other part of serviceability do we need, right? Interest rates we know are low. They're super low. We also know the government have eased financial fiscal borrowing. They had this thing where you had to be jump through a lot of hoops to get a loan.
Right. Yeah.
They're scrapping that now all of a sudden.
Cool.
Because it was very difficult, and they're scrapping that. What's going to happen with that is going to make it easy to borrow and more serviceability, which is great, right? Yes, great news for interest rates. It's fantastic.
Absolutely.
It is. And now, so the other good thing is, the next thing going is deposits. Because obviously to buy property, you need a deposit, right?
Yes.
Well, 2 ways to get a deposit. Well, there's actually 9 ways, which I explained in the 14-day challenge. But I'm going to talk about 2 main ways.
The main 2, yeah.
Yeah. There's actually 9 different ways to get a deposit. And some of them are little known things. And I'll talk about it in my 14-day challenge, which I'll mention later on, if you remind me. But what I'm going to do is talk about the 2 main ways. One is equity. and two is money, cash in the bank.
Cash.
I'm going to talk about those two things. One, property prices have gone up in every state except Victoria. So
Victoria.
So people have got more equity, so they can borrow more, which is great. Number two, people have got more savings
because they haven't been going out and spending. Is that why?
Yes.
When you think about it, you couldn't really go out and go to restaurants, cafes, the movies.
Well, but listen.
Even to go out bowling or whatever, you couldn't really do that for a while.
Listen to these amazing figures. We're going to be around in early 2021. The average household, all the people in Australia, we're going to have an extra savings of $100 billion.
Wow.
$100 billion. that is humongous. That's staggering. Now, that's 5% of GDP, right? That's
awesome.
all happened since COVID started. Our savings have gone through the roof. People are ahead on their mortgages, the savings. What I'm doing is I'm counting the head of the mortgages, the extra payments, and the savings all up is going to be around 100 billion. Right?
I think as a country, Australians just, they survive and then they thrive through difficult times because, we just get on with it and we get back to work and we just make things happen.
Yeah. And look, thanks to the government for doing this. Right?
Absolutely. They've definitely, helped the economy in a lot of ways, which is awesome.
Would love to quickly hear all 9 ways. I might program in for a next session, or if we've got time at the end, I will, okay?
Yeah,
but
we'll circle back.
I want to go through. Okay, so, thanks to the government, because the government gave a lot of, give women $100 billion life. So basically, the government's been very generous because they were trying to subsidise our wages, but salaries actually went up, right? So, so basically, household incomes are now growing at a massive 7% per year.
That's massive.
How much is that?
Yeah, that's awesome.
Right? And look.
So does that mean everyone's making a lot more money?
Not everyone,
in
no.
The short of it?
In general, yes.
Yeah.
And so basically, what are these people doing?
Well, I think a big percentage of why people are making more money is because they doubled the unemployment benefit as well, remember?
Yeah, exactly. So, even those people have got more money,
exactly. So even if you're not working, your income automatically sort of went up because of COVID.
Yes, but what a lot of people are doing this extra money is trucking it away into their savings account. But not only that, even the normal money they've got, they've been putting away because there's not much to spend it on.
Yeah, and I think when there's a bit of uncertainty, you sort of just hang on to your money and you don't really spend it because there's a bit of fear around, what could happen. Yeah,
so look, there's a massive surge in savings, which equals a massive surge in deposit and borrowing capacity, right?
Nice.
So we talked about interest, we talked about serviceability, and we're talking about deposit now, right?
Mm-hmm.
So when the dust settles after COVID, because at the moment there's still that COVID dust.
Still a dust storm. Right? We're not through it yet.
But what's going to happen is back early 2021, when the dust settles, suddenly people are going to realise they're sitting on a big pile of cash, just sitting there. Now, one of two things is going to happen. They're going to go and be consumers and spend lots of money, which is going to happen. The economy is going to boom, which is going to help as well. So there's going to be a massive recovery because there's pent-up demand. People are going to go nuts.
Yeah, like everyone wants to travel. Everyone wants to, have parties. Like everyone's going to go crazy doing all the stuff that they couldn't do in 2020.
Yep. So a lot of households are going to spend it on having fun and traveling and stuff like that. But many will actually put in productive assets, right? And see, if you're sitting on a deposit with the cheapest interest rate in the world, you'd be kind of mad not to buy property, wouldn't you?
Absolutely.
That's my opinion. You'd be crazy, right? And obviously the right investment, the right property, but you'd be crazy not to do it.
Absolutely.
So basically part of the boom is going to be a massive increase in serviceability in 2021, right? An increase in borrowing power, an increase in capacity, and all up that's going to really bring it on. So it's very exciting, very, very exciting. Can I both have cash flow as capital growth property as well? I can answer that one because that's an easy one. No. No. Let me explain. I recently went in the group and said, what would you prefer, cash flow or capital growth? And a lot of people said, well, if this situation you want cash flow, this situation you want capital growth. And they kept going. And look, at the end of the day, I'll tell you the secret. And the secret is you want capital growth. Yes. That's what you're looking for. Right?
Cash flow is just a bonus.
Cash flow is a bonus, but capital growth is where the true magic happens. And that's where you make the real money. And the capital growth actually gets your cash flow up. So the important thing is we buy a property So you're always buying a property for capital growth, nothing else. You structure, but the structure, you structure for cash flow.
Yep.
See, people get it wrong. You don't buy a property for cash flow. You structure for cash flow.
Yeah.
Because we've done this many times. We've had people join our program. You know, they came along, did the 14-day challenge, and ended up joining our mentorship program. And we've saved them $50,000 a year through structure. They didn't buy a property for that. They structured it differently. And that's the key when it comes to structuring. And I've got a great thing about structuring in the 14-day challenge, the Freedom for Property challenge. But basically, that is the most important thing. But you only want to buy for capital growth. People that buy for cash flow, I think they're quite mad because the challenge is if you've got cash flow, no capital growth, then you're just going to get this money. Imagine you buy a property. Let's say you buy a $400,000 property and you're getting $700 a week rent.
Yeah.
But there's no capital growth.
Yeah.
Well, the rent's not going to go up.
And I think they don't realise that it's sort of
let
short-sighted
me
looking for
do-
a cash flow property, because in the long run, if you get a capital growth property, you're going to make way more money.
Let me do the numbers, right?
Yeah.
So at 400 and 700, right? That's extra $300
Let's
a week
compare the pair.
times 552. That's $15,000 a year times 10. That's $156,000 a year extra you're getting for the cash flow.
Okay. Yeah.
Excellent. Can you remember that number? Because I'm not going to remember it.
156,000.
Yeah, 156,000. Now we've got the same property, a different property that's going to be capital growth, same price. But we're only getting $400 a week instead of 700 because it's not a cash flow property. But this is going to capital growth. It's going to double the next 7, 10, or 12 years. So in 10 years it doubles. So what happens is we're going to end up with $400,000 plus, because it's doubled, we're going to end up with $800 a week. So really, we're going to end up with 450,000 instead of 156,000. So what would you prefer? 450,000, 150,000? This is just back of the envelope numbers that I've done on my calculator, but just shows you that capital growth is a true driver. And even if you got nearly double the rent from the beginning of a cash flow property, you're missing out on $300,000.
You're missing out big time.
Exactly. Yeah. So that's what's happening in the boom, which is very exciting. And now what I want to do is tell you the story about the woodcutter, because this is very important, right? See, there was a woodcutter, right? And
chopping wood.
He asked for a job with a timber merchant and he got it. And the pay was really good. And so were the work conditions. He was pumped. He went out there day one and started chopping and got 17 trees chopped down. He's like, yoo-hoo, yeah, awesome. Right? Then next day he goes down and he chopped 17 trees again. Third day goes out, he chops like 12. And then the fourth day, he chopped like 8. He's like, I don't know, I'm getting weaker. What's going on? You know what I mean? Because he was really motivated and he wanted to work hard because he loved this job, right? And day after day, he was bringing in less and trees. And he's thinking, I must be losing my strength, you know? He went to the boss and apologized and saying, look, he couldn't understand what's going on. And the boss said to him, look, when's the last time you sharpened the axe? And he's like, sharpen? I had no idea to sharpen my axe. I've been very busy trying to cut trees.
So this lumberjack was chopping away with a blunt axe.
Yes, see, well, it was sharp at the beginning.
Yes.
But exactly. Let's see, what happened was, now you might be thinking, why am I telling this story? And here's why. It isn't about how many trees you cut. It's about having the best tools in your hand that allows you to keep cutting trees no matter where you go or how many of them you come by, right?
Right.
And see, after being a successful property investor for over 20 years, I've long realized that it's not about having 10 different strategies, and it's not about working harder at all, right? But it's rather about having one good strategy that can work its magic for you over and over again, no matter what the market is doing. But not only that, it's about working smarter and getting your strategy to do all the heavy lifting for you. And look, it's worked for me. And when I finally decided to figure out the property investing, created the Markoski method. And it's the exact strategy I use all around Australia, right? And the question is, are you currently the woodcutter with the same unsharpened axe, hoping and praying to cut down trees as you go? Let's face it, hoping and praying is not a good strategy. It's not very reliable to get anything. It's not the most reliable strategy, is it?
No.
You know what I mean? And the fact of it is, someone's saying affordability to get into the market relatively quick, relative to equity growth. Yes, absolutely. So the important thing is what you need that right strategy. And what I'm doing is I'm doing my last and final 14-day challenge On the 14th of December.
You need to get clear on the right strategy for you, because once you get your strategy, that is your foundation that you're going to build everything on. And that is the whole core pillar of all your investing and how you're going to make money.
Well, like we said before, the reason people find property investing very complicated is they don't understand the fundamentals of the core principles.
Yeah.
And really what I've done is I've decided to distill my 20 years of knowledge into this 14-day challenge, which is on the 14th of December. And it's called the Freedom Through Property Challenge.
Last one for the year, guys.
This is it.
That's
right?
it. 2020 is done.
That's the last one. So, if you want to get a jump start for 2021, if you want to get the right strategy, and really what I'm saying is, if you want me to help you, me and my team to help you plan out your property portfolio, and this plan is going to serve you for the rest of your life. If you're interested, just type in the chat, Freedom Through Property.
Yeah.
And I'll send you a link to my.
Or type the word challenge even.
Yeah, type the word
Can't
challenge.
be bothered writing that big sentence.
Yeah, exactly.
Type challenge down below. But yes, look, the year's not over. 2020's not over. It's time to redeem yourself. Do what you can while you can for the rest of the year.
You know what Bill Gates says?
What?
He says, if you're born poor, it's not your fault. But you know what he says also? If you die poor, it's your fault.
Absolutely. Time to redeem 2020 and
Look,
get into the market. Look, there's never been a better time to get into the market. Like we said, interest rates are rock bottom. What are they now? What's the RBA reducing down to? Like 1%?
It's something crazy.
It's crazy. I mean...
And the fact of it is, look, we saw the three principles of what's happening now. And with $100 billion worth of savings, it's going to be crazy.
Yeah.
And I know there's already a shortage of supply.
There's so much opportunity, guys. Like, it's crazy. I'm seeing it every day. It's just amazing what's happening right now. So, yeah, look, get in before the boom. That's all I can say, because once it booms, you're going to have to pay more in terms of deposit, and you could have had that money in your own pocket.
Look, borrowing power is all relative, and what a lot of people try to do is they try to save up more to increase their borrowing power. However, because the property market keeps moving,
keeps going up,
they never catch up to it, right? They keep running after the property market year after year, just missing it.
You're going to lose that race.
You're better off catching the property now and letting it do the heavy lifting for you.
Absolutely.
Making you go forward.
Yeah,
right?
yeah, 100%. So should we circle back to the 9 ways you can invest in property? We got time for that, George?
The 9. We can talk about a few of the 9 ways. What time do we finish?
So basically, we've got about 15, 20 minutes left.
Okay, we've got lots of time.
Or we can finish earlier.
No,
it's up to you.
Okay, I don't know all the 9. RBA is at 0.1% at the moment. Exactly.
0.1%. There you go. Boom.
Exactly. So the 9 ways to get a deposit. What I'm going to do is I'll mention a few. Now, I've got a training for it, the 14-day challenge, so I can't memorize all of them. So number 1,
I can help you.
Number 1 is cash.
Yep.
And cash is good because if you got cash in the bank, seriously, your money's shrinking. Especially at 0.1%, right?
It is shrinking. Literally, yeah.
And seriously, it'd be horrible to have your money in the bank right now because it's shrinking with property prices going up. I mean, most areas have gone up. Most cities have gone up 5%, except Melbourne over the last 12 months. And they're predicting 10 or 20%. Now, this is the big 4 banks that are predicting this. It's not me or not any other, well, it's me as well. But I'm expecting, 7 to 10%.
Yeah.
And if I get 10, I'll be wrapped.
That's just a bonus.
And if I get 20, it's a wrap. But you need a system that's going to allow you to invest and make money, even if you're only getting 5 or 6%.
And just be conservative, do it on literally, your worst case scenario.
Yeah, but the thing is, with the 5 times multiplier, we have many of our members, right? So if the property market does 10%, they make 50%. Right?
Yes, because you're putting in only 20%.
That's right. And with the 5 times multiplier, we a lot of times we're getting 20 to 30, 40% per year over and over and over again. Yeah. And a lot of other people don't realize how we're doing this, right? And it's pretty cool. And I'll talk about this during the 14-day challenge as well. I'll go for the 5 times multiplier and explain exactly how it works.
Yeah, so
you can do a 10 times multiplier.
If we miss any of the 9 ways to obviously get into the market and get a property, you cover all of the 9 ways in the 14-day challenge, don't you, George?
Yes, exactly. Exactly. Yeah, of course I do. Yes. So what about a loan from George? Is that option 10, interest free, not repayable?
You wish.
Hey guys, look, I really believe that the best thing I can give you is knowledge.
It's the
And my
best
experience
gift.
is the best gift.
Absolutely. Education.
And the second best
to
gift,
empower you to do it yourself.
and the second
It's
best,
very rewarding.
and the second best gift is a loan from someone with no interest. But unfortunately, no one's willing to do it for anyone. Unfortunately, yes.
Yeah.
So the thing is, okay. So the next part is equity.
Equity, yes.
And look, equity, as far as I'm concerned,
I am shocked at the amount of people who have so much equity sitting there in their house doing absolutely nothing. I'm like, wow, you could buy 10 properties with that. It's just crazy. These people that have houses,
Totally,
$300, $400, $500,000 plus worth of equity.
I know, what's happening is, this is the deal. I do a coaching. I do this with Dan Sullivan, strategic coach. I was at the session the other day, and he was talking about, look at your people that want to join your program, look at their biggest pain point, what they want.
Yeah.
Then they said, look at their opportunities.
Mm-hmm.
I was like, what do you mean opportunities? And then I realized, the people that are watching us now in our group, their opportunities are pretty exciting. Like, so for example, what's your opportunity? Well, if you've got a job, if you pay tax, if you've got a mortgage or equity, or you've got a deposit, you've got an asset there that you're underutilizing.
Yeah.
Right? And
we call that untapped potential.
That's right. And with the untapped potential, you can tap that potential and really make it work. And I like to tap out the tax first.
Well, what you want to do is you want to stop trading your time for dollars. You want to get your assets out there, like your house that you've got and the equity that's sitting there doing nothing, and get that out there working and making you money, because you can never outwork a house. It's always going to make more money than you in the long run, because properties just keep going up no matter what. It's crazy.
Exactly. So that's really it. So we got deposit, and we got the next one, which is equity.
Equity, yep.
What's next?
Cash deposit, that is, and equity.
Yep. Next is superannuation.
Super, yes.
Right. So
another really underutilized.
So with super,
asset.
you need to talk to an expert about this. We're not financial advisors. We're not financial advisors. I'm a property investor.
I'm just a successful property investor.
Look, I earned my MBA in property quite a few years back. And really, that's the only qualification I think you need anyway.
Yeah.
And does anyone know what MBA stands for? Do you want to type it in the chat?
I have a feeling you've asked this question like a few times.
I'll ask it again anyway.
On this session
this is what it stands for. It stands for massive bank account. It's the only thing you need, because if you have made a massive bank account out of investing in property, you know what you're doing.
Yeah.
And
you've got the runs on the board.
And if you haven't, you don't know what you're doing. Simple.
You've got the proof.
That's the real proof, the massive bank account.
Absolutely.
Yeah. So superannuation is another way a lot of people, it's actually the fastest growing sector of people investing in property at the moment.
Yeah.
Interesting. So that's what's happening as well. So that's 3. I don't know if we'll get to 9, but we're going to push for it. Then what you can do, and this happens a lot with people, is if you've got some toys, you've got a couple of cars lying around the place. Motorbikes.
Garage full of old cars that you're going to do
all
up.
Sorts of assets you've got at home. I mean, look, I know one guy who sold his Pokemon cards.
Pokemon cards?
They've gone up, yep. And he sold them for $20,000.
Wow. Is this guy a member?
Not yet, no.
Okay.
But he wants to be a member. So he sold them for $20,000. He's saving up.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
That's our gym instructor.
Right.
Yes. So, and look, and we had one guy who joined our program. His name's Mark, and he had no deposit. Right. And what happened was, he was living at home. He had like 4 cars. And first thing I did when he joined the program, I said, look, get rid of your cars. You only need one car to get to A and B. Keep one car, get rid of the rest, especially the expensive.
Keep your favorite car out of all those cars.
He didn't keep his favorite because the favorite was too expensive. But anyway, we sold the cars. Now he's got $1 million worth of property. He's got money in his offset account. He's positive geared, and he's doing well.
He's set for life. I mean, look, going from having cars that were going down in value to 2 amazing investment properties that keep making him more and more passive income every year and keep going up in value. It's like black and white, night and day. It's really next level, mentality, mindset in letting go of those assets that were losing him money and actually investing that money into investment properties that are going to keep making him money for the rest of his life, and it's going to be the gift that keeps giving forever.
That's right. Because, I mean, the cars aren't going to go up in value.
No.
Oh, but, if you have it long enough, but they're not really going to get you rent or anything like that. If you rent it out, they're going to go down in value. So anyway, because we're a temp. But the thing is, the fact of it is, property just keeps going up. And look, only one good property can make the lifetime difference.
Oh, it can make a massive difference.
Imagine if you bought a property for $500,000 and it doubled in 10 years and you had $500,000 equity, which you can turn into cash if you know how to do it. Now, could you save $500,000 if you worked for the next 10 years? Honestly, answer that. Answer it to yourself, answer it to us. I don't think so, right? I don't think I could. And I know lots of people that make good money, they couldn't save that much. You know what I mean? But a house can do that. Now, someone said buy and hold under construction property, but you can't really do this with houses. Okay. I'm not exactly clear on what you're asking. If you would like to just rephrase
Can you rephrase the question, yes, please?
Yeah. So that's another way of getting the deposit. Now, also, there's a really good way with a lot of our members did this. We've got a lot of young people that join our program, and they've got parents that have had their property for a while.
Yeah.
That have got lots of equity. It's doing nothing. And what they do is they get their parents to help out.
Go guarantor.
And that way, if they go guarantor, they can get the loan without a deposit.
Yes.
That works really well. And, the point is to do this, one, it's important to do it safely because you don't want to put your parents in peril.
Absolutely, yeah.
Two, you need to educate your parents and show them why you're doing it and how you're doing it. Because what happens is, normally when they talk to their parents go, oh my God, you're going to lose all our money, right? But then, if we educate them and show them what we're doing and how it's doing it, and they're getting a property for less than $20 a week, even
it's
the parents,
the
parents can chip in $20 if they have to. You know what I mean? Let's say things went bad and the kid couldn't afford $20. I mean, you can scrape $20 together somehow. And that's why it's so important when it comes to cash flow, getting that right and getting the structure right.
Yeah.
Because that way it keeps you safe. It's all about safety because protecting your empire is important. Buy and hold on the construction property, but you can't really do this with houses like buy options. All right, yeah. You can't buy options on houses. Yes, you can buy options on houses. And
I don't know much about options.
You can. You can actually buy options on houses. And what that is, you go to knock on someone's door. There's a guy up in Queensland selling this course to how to do it.
Okay.
And look, it can work, but it takes a lot of effort. And I'm the sort of person that I'm into passive income that makes me money while I'm sleeping, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So what happens is you can knock on people's doors, find the property, give them an option to buy the house, but you've got to be able to get it for less than what you can sell the house. I don't know if that's ethical, because I think I almost imagine, these people out there knocking on grandma's doors and trying to rip them off. And
so it sounds like a really far out there sort of works on paper strategy, but in real life probably doesn't really work.
Look, it does. It can work in real life, but I think you need a lot of skill. But also, I don't know if you're going to be doing the right thing by the actual owner of the property.
Yeah, because you want to be ethical.
I really think at the end of the day, part of our values is it's got to be a win for everyone.
Win-win.
Everyone wins.
Absolutely.
That's one of our values. Everyone wins. And what do we mean by that is the client wins, the company wins, the community wins.
Yeah.
And if it's not a win-win-win, then I think we're looking at old school. That's old school business. New school business about win-win-win. Elon Musk, he's helping the environment, helping people save money,
helping people live on Mars.
Exactly. It's great. You know what I mean? So that's another way of getting the deposit is having a guarantor.
Yeah, that's a great way to get into the market.
Now, because I've been fasting for like 24 hours, I'm fading away here. But I want to go.
So when are you going to break your fast, George?
Tomorrow night.
Tomorrow night.
According to my app.
Okay. Yeah. So just a 2-day.
Yeah, 2
I
days.
find 2 days probably one of the easiest fasts to do.
It's pretty easy.
Yeah.
Pretty easy. Look, the more times you do it, the better. We're talking about the wedge. And we're talking about the wedge and talking about comfort.
So the wedge, is this a book?
The wedge is a book, but
who wrote the book?
Don't know. Some guy that did a Wim Hof.
Oh, okay.
Because I did the ice. Let's go back to that. I'll talk to you about the ice bath. And I found it very challenging. And basically, getting out of your comfort zone is challenging. It's uncomfortable. That's why it's called your comfort zone, uncomfort zone. So when I started first training at the gym and lifting heavy weights,
yes,
I found that uncomfortable. And if you don't lift heavy weights, you wouldn't probably enjoy lifting heavy weights because it's painful. But after doing it for so many years, I don't find that uncomfortable now. I find it pleasurable.
You
And
enjoy it
I
now?
enjoy it. Yeah, I love it. You know,
I
But
still
yeah,
hate
no,
working out.
I love it. I really enjoy it. It gives me a good feeling. I just love lifting weight.
Maybe the endorphins that get released.
I really enjoy it. Now, with cold ice baths, I can admit I definitely don't enjoy those. But what I've done now since then is I've been doing cold showers. And admittedly, it's not that cold, but I'm finding it really easy. And normally, even in summer, I wouldn't like to have a cold shower. I'd find it uncomfortable. But I find it comfortable now in summer to have a shower.
I love cold showers in summer. I find them like so refreshing. It's like such a good way to start your day.
Yes.
Offer options to subdivide and build owners' backyard agreements on profits.
Yeah. Look, I think there is an ethical way of doing it, Heidi, and that's excellent. Thank you for mentioning that, definitely. But so what I want to talk about is still the comfort zone thing in the wedge.
Okay.
So at the end of the day, the only way to get comfortable and get out of your comfort zone is to get uncomfortable and get used to it.
Mm-hmm.
And that's what property investing is about. When I first invested in property, I found it very uncomfortable.
Yeah.
Because I was giving a lot of money away for a property and I wasn't sure what was going on. Now, the one thing that can help you become more comfortable, and this helped with the ice bath, this helps with property, is getting an expert that's done it before over and over to show you how to do it and tell you the reasons why you should do it. And then you're comfortable. See, if someone said, George, jump in a bath full of ice and just stay there. Now, I wouldn't know how to do it. I wouldn't know why. Is it healthy? Has someone else done it? Like there's so many things going on in your mind. You can't jump in and just be comfortable to do that. But by knowing that this guy teaching me has done it over and over again, he's got the runs on the board.
Mm-hmm.
He knows the science behind it. He's done it successfully many times. He's helped other people successfully do it many times, which made it more comfortable for me. And just like Kim helped me with the ice bath, I can help you with property because I've done it over and over again. And by doing it with someone like me or our team of coaches, our team of property mentors, it's going to make you comfortable doing it.
Yeah. Well, it's just about, having someone who knows what they're doing, hold your hand and walk you through it step by step.
Yeah, and that's the best way to get out of your comfort zone is having someone that knows what they're doing to help you.
Have a good coach, have a good teacher.
Yes, because doing it a different way is probably not a smart idea.
No.
I mean, Wim Hof, he jumped in the Arctic ice and his corneas froze over. You know what I mean? You wouldn't want that happening to you. You know what I mean? That's what I'm saying. Yeah. So look, guys, that's it for tonight. We've given you 4 or 5 different ways to about a deposit. If you want the whole 9, you've got to do our 14-day challenge.
Check out the 14-day challenge. Type challenge in the comments below.
Yep,
we'll
type challenge and we'll hook you up with a challenge. It's going to be our last challenge for the year. Enjoy your Wednesday. Thank you so much for joining us.
Thanks for joining us. Yeah.
Remember, we're not firefighters, we're freedom fighters.
Freedom fighters, guys.
Guys, we're fighting for freedom. And remember, I really believe with the heart of my hearts that the life you want, the holidays you want, the lifestyle you want, the house you want, the car you want, all of that is just one good property portfolio away. And if you can create a good property portfolio, you're going to get there. And the best way to do that is by actually doing the challenge and getting me to go live with you every day and help you do it for 14 days.
Yeah,
right?
100%.
Because one thing is, with this challenge, I'll give you a mission each day and you've got to do it. And then I check up on you and make sure you do it. Yep. People are saying challenge. Excellent.
Fantastic. Guys, we'll see you in the challenge. Thanks so much for joining us tonight and we'll
see you
see
next
you all
Wednesday.
next time.